Hi beauty fam, I thought I would do a get ready with me, and I have some products I've reviewed and I don't actually have anything planned of what I'm going to use today. So my all I have on my face is my skincare, and I recently reviewed the Makeup by Mario foundation. I use the shade 120. So I am still going to try using this foundation. I haven't quite given up on it yet. But let me go ahead and put my hair back. I am going to try something different. This is a very glowy foundation, and I had finished filming it and I read some reviews that some people thought there was glitter in this. I didn't find that to be the case. I just had trouble using this because it's a very luminous and oily foundation, and as someone who has oily skin, this was very difficult and fussy for me to use. But I'm going to try it in another way and see if it works. I am going to try it with the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas Primer. And I'm wondering if the primer is going to help, because this is more of like a mattifying, not mattifying, but for me, it feels like less of a dewy foundation. And I found that yesterday I used the Surratt foundation and that helped a bit. It's kind of like the Surratt is just a basic, great a primer, not glowy. And the nice thing about this Tatcha primer is that it's pretty, it's almost like it's a blurring, silky primer. The closest I could describe it as, if you have tried the Armani Silk Foundation, I think that's the one that's really popular. It almost kind of like blurs and kind of silkifies your skin. It's like a soft box for whatever foundation you're putting on. It's a really, I'm gonna try this, is that what I found with this foundation is that it emphasized my pores. So I'm going to try this Sisley powder. It's their Blur Expert, the Perfecting Smoothing Blur Powder. And the way that a lot of people use this is that they use it before their foundation application. And so I'm going to try that. I'm grabbing my BK Beauty 105 buffing brush. It's this really great flat edge brush. And so I'm just tapping into that. Unfortunately, there's no other color for this blurring powder. It's just one color. And I'm gonna try to use it on the areas where I have most pores, which is like right here. Quite honestly, it's all in my cheek area. This is a lovely powder. I'd always forget to use this. I think it can be just, it's such a nice powder. It reminds me that it could be just used as a foundation, kind of similar to this. The blurring balm powder for Danessa Myricks is more of it has an upsolate, so it has like a slip to it. But if you want like some sort of powder, but without having to use foundation, this is a nice alternative. Okay, so I put that down in an effort to kind of almost like mattify or blur the pores underneath before I put on this Makeup by Mario. And I feel like I did a review, it'll probably post before this video, and I actually had tried it twice and kind of gave you my review about it. So I'll link that above if you want to watch. So I ended up getting the shade 120. This is a $42 foundation. It's supposed to be luminous. What I'm actually going to try today is different. Maybe a little bit of combination of the sponge and then using just like my fingers, kind of like putting in facial lotion. And everyone has a different way. The way I've seen Makeup by Mario feeds is that their makeup artists are using a brush, and maybe that's just not for me. So I'm just trying different ways to use this. So I'm gonna see, like, let's use the sponge first and see what happens. And so this is a Beauty Blender sponge. It's not really, it's slightly moist because I just cleaned it, so it's like 80% dry. Okay, I'm still seeing what I saw yesterday and the day before, is that it does emphasize texture. And that has to probably do with the fact that it's like a luminous foundation. I just kind of don't care for that look. Okay, so let me try this where I'm just grabbing whatever. A little goes a long way. That's the other thing about this foundation. I'm gonna try to pat it in like skincare. It's supposed to be a medium foundation. I found it to be a light medium, but here's the trouble with this foundation is that by the end of almost like an 11-hour wear test, I was finding that it was lifting off my face, even if I built it up. Okay, so that's without foundation. That's with foundation and then without. Okay, so I'm glad I'm doing one side of the face versus the other. What I can see is that this foundation really emphasizes texture and the pores I have. So even if I put down that blurring powder, it did not help with emphasizing the texture on my skin. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so I'm just gonna grab some of this and to kind of just like use it as skincare. I would say this is like really pigmented. That's why like I feel like with one pump, I didn't actually have to use an entire pump for my face. So it's pretty pigmented. And again, this is like the third time I'm trying to make this foundation work for me, and I shouldn't have to work that hard to make something work. So I think this is like, I'm trying to give it a fair shake, and I think 3 times is enough. If not, sometimes like 1 or 2 tries. I know, like that Dior foundation last year, that was just, actually that was even better than this. This is just looking even terrible on my skin. What I found with this foundation, it looks terrible when I put it on, and then after I put like powder and whatnot, it looks better. Let's see if that works better. So I have an overcast day and so I'm using studio light. All right, so I remember at this point I was like, last time was like, just keep going. Like have faith in the process, because I remember from last time that it looked better after I set everything down. So what I'm doing is using this under eye corrector by Live Tinted in the color Balance. There you go, come on, autofocus. Balance, and this is Live Tinted. And this is the color, which is really great for medium tan skin tones if you need color correcting. The other thing about this foundation color is that it's a little too pale for me on initial application, because I did get tan on my vacation. Through the process of putting my makeup and then it settling down, it actually blends okay, but it is slightly too it's too neutral. If you can see, it's not warm enough. Okay, I'm actually going to grab my Westman Atelier Truffle contour stick. It's this one. It looks like that. Just going in here. I'm taking a Katie Jane Hughes brush. This is the brush number, I can't even read, 08 from her Spectrum set. It's a synthetic brush. It's fake. Not fake, it's, yeah, synthetic. I'm still testing out this camera. I am not sure how, with editing, if it's gonna look okay. I do find the color correcting, like the actual real color, is a little bit fussier on this camera, how it reads. My iPhone actually picks up better like actual color, like true to life color. Okay, so that's the contour, and then I'm gonna go into my Sisley concealer in 04, and it has this really nice applicator tip that's very cooling. Just gonna let it sit there for a second. and I'm watching to see how the foundation's settling down. It doesn't look any better, quite honestly. It really looks like it's sitting on my face. I actually see more of my lines and pores with this makeup. And it's when you're, you know how you get new makeup and then you're testing it and you're like, okay, I'm just gonna give it a shot, and then it's just looking terrible. Like, I feel like this foundation ages me, and it's just not flattering for someone who has oily skin, texture, wrinkles, and pores, which everyone has pores. It's just some people have ones that look larger than others. Okay, I'm just grabbing my Jumbo Concealer by Sonia G. This is my favorite concealer, under eye concealer brush. So let me know if you prefer this camera or my videos on iPhone more, because just let me know if you notice a difference, if you prefer one over the other. Okay, and then I'm going to do my Hourglass primer for prepping my eyelids. That's what it looks like. It has a little bit of like a nudie color for pale skin. You can see there. Some people fare better when there's some pigment that's down, that lays down to neutralize the color. So for me, there is a slight pigment on here. You see, use the MAC Painterly Pot in Ochre. That's also a good one. I just found that it was a little bit too dry, where this is a little bit, excuse me, more emollient. Okay, so I'm gonna take my Pat McGrath light under eye powder rather. And this is something new. I picked up one of these. I just had to break that barrier. I noticed with these you have to break this kind of, it's like almost like a first layer you have to bust through. I got this when there was that, what is it, that 30 or 40% end of the year sale Pat McGrath was having. I'll show you what it looks like before I powder it down. It's pretty luminous. It's so interesting that people had said that they saw glitter in it. I don't see glitter, at least maybe because it's deeper. I just see that it's very luminous and that it emphasizes texture. I'm using my Sisley Matte 2 loose powder. And I'm using a rougher brush. It's number 22. People like to use this. They say this is the dupe for the Tom Ford bronzing brush. This is way too big for me. I don't like to have bronzer on my face this big, but it's actually quite lovely as a loose powder brush for me. That's how I use it. Okay, so that is what the complexion is looking like after powdering it down. So I feel like it doesn't emphasize as much texture. What I'm still seeing, even with this primer, is that the foundation is welling in the pores of my nose, which doesn't look cute. Okay, so just taking my 4.5 Goof Proof pencil, kind of like this taupey brown color. I don't like to get really deep colors for my eyebrow because I already have black hair. And I found if I got the same exact color, my eyebrows were like really too severe. I like it to look a little bit more natural and soft. Some of you know that Pat McGrath had that end of the year sale. So I ended up getting, and I should have tried this. I got they have these, those package deals of the Pat McGrath. You can get like the under eye concealer and a concealer. So I ended up getting the third of the color. So now I have light, yellow, and medium. And I wanted to try the light underneath my eyes because medium I like to use for my face actually. So I ended up getting LM14. LM14? Oh gosh. Yeah, I did get LM14. This is my old LM14 and this is the new one on top. So I think it's probably past the year mark. That's what I'm thinking. So I'll probably toss that out. Okay, so I ended up getting the Bridgerton 6-pan, this one here. And initially I wasn't going to get it because people were just going nuts about this one. But I saw Andrea Ali's video and she just kind of did more of a basic color with this. Ooh, these are really buttery. These are really nice. So pretty. Okay, so that is the shade here. It's like a duochrome. Here's the pink. And here is, what is that one? This one right here. It's very buttery. And that's what it looks like. Let me do those swatches over again, at least on the top row. Yeah, those are yummy. Oh, so pretty. Brush is a squirrel hair eyeshadow brush by Chikuhodo. It's squirrel hair, and I'm gonna go into this color Regency Romance, this one here. It's like this pink color. Okay. So I'm still editing, or I need to start editing my trip, my holiday vlog. So that's gonna take a minute, and any of you who knows content creation, it takes a while. Like, you have to do the filming of the content and then you have to edit, and edit's its own beast. Like, in the industry, as some of you know, there's people who that's all they do, is that's their job, are editors. So it's like my least favorite thing to do with content creation is doing editing. Okay, so that's that Regency Romance. I'm going to take that deeper plum color. I think it's called Forbidden Amour, Forbidden Love. And just taking, this is my Hakuhodo brush. I don't know what it is. It's kind of, it's got a dome shape. Just tapping it a little bit because it's a deep plum color. And just using that to deepen up the outer V. I'm really hoping Pat McGrath Labs comes out with more exciting colors and that they are kind of done with the plummy pink color stories and less gold. Like, we've been waiting for years for her to come up with a new color story. It'd be great if she has something purple, something green, something more, another cool tone. She doesn't do a lot of cool tones, so it'd be great to see that this year. I am taking a Wayne Goss 04 brush, cleaning that off and just using that to just blend. It's not the greatest blending brush. I can't find my there we go. The 03, yeah, 03 Wayne Goss brush is better for blending. And I'm losing light. It's like 4 o'clock here in the Midwest or Northwest, and like, it's so dark already. Okay, so just building up that color, and I might have to go in because I have hooded eyelids. I like to go above the crease in order to just have some color up here. I think I was going to take this color here, that Showstopper shade, but what I was going to do is actually use that Pat McGrath Intensifies wand. I love this. This is like the lazy person's glitter glue. It's like this light balm stick that you just run across your eyes, and most of like these glitter shades stay on. So, and it gets intensified. Refinement. So it's that shade, this one. So pretty. I'm just gonna pat that on. So pretty. I saw Andrea Ali use this right before the holidays, and I was like, I wasn't gonna get this palette, and then I saw her use this, just these three colors, and I was like, sold. And it's like the colors like this and the formula, this is why people go nuts about Pat McGrath. It's just like people try to copy her style and formula. There's just no one that's coming close. I mean, there are indie brands, but she's just at the top of the game here. Okay, so that is what it looks like. Super pretty. Okay, so I'm gonna use actually some of this blue at the bottom and see what that looks like. So just grabbing some of that color, what is it called? Daring Dandy. And then actually grabbing some of this chartreuse color. What do they call it? This is called the Forever Charmed, which is this one here. Ooh, those bottom two were giving me Lisa Eldridge Sorcery vibes. That palette that everyone really wanted, that sold out. Actually, I'm gonna pull it. So Sorcery is this one, and those two colors are kind of giving me the vibes. Probably this color. It's very similar. You see that? Actually, it's a little bit more blue green, and this is more of like a gold green. And then there's this blue here. It's not an exact dupe, but let's see. Oh, it's very similar, this one up here, which is Madrigal. It's her it's like her duochrome colors. Swatch it next to here. Very similar. Do you see that? Ooh, how fun. Okay, so that's similar. If you just got the Sorcery palette, you probably don't have to get this. Okay, let me just do an inner corner highlight with the color Diamond's Desire. I'm just gonna pop that here. And then up here. And actually I wanted to line this a little bit with Brune Agape and then do a brown liner. This is my Chanel Brune Agape. I love this makeup. So I'm gonna grab my Tom Ford liquid liner. I'll do a video of Hawaii and how it was. I did end up getting these really pretty pearl earrings from Hawaii. I think these are Edison pearls, and it's like they're like purple, pink, white pearls, just beautiful with gold. I was looking all over my trip to the ones that were gonna work for me. Okay, so what I'm gonna do, the last thing I'm gonna do is just kind of buff the top really quick. I'm so insecure about this camera. I just have never filmed and then edited yet a makeup look, so I have no idea if the color is off. I'm grabbing my new Merit Beauty lip oil, and this is in the color Taupe. Let me show you. I thought this might be a fair dupe. It's kind of close, but it's more brown. But I love this lip oil formula. How pretty that is. Definitely brown girl friendly. I'm gonna grab my Victoria Beckham 04 bronzer, and I got this at the end of the year, and I wanted a deeper color. I suspected 03 was a bit too light, so it comes with contour shade, which is this one, so I'll add some here. Do you see how that's just a better color match for me? The other one where I had to like work a little bit to make it work, here it's just like one swipe. I like to layer my creams with creams and bronzers, or my cream products with powder products. It just stays longer. And then here is the bronzer part. And this is where like the foundation being a bit too pale for me will work out and balance out, because when I put the bronzer on, it just will even stuff out so that it won't look so pale anymore. So I will say, on initial, like once my makeup look is done, this foundation looks really pretty. Like it looks pretty, and like I know he's a makeup artist, so maybe that's what it is. It's like maybe it's just meant for like the photo shoot, and it looks really pretty. But in terms of longevity, it doesn't last for me because I have oily skin. So it just organizes my blushes, so I'm really excited. Let's go for Divine Rose. So I recently organized my blushes and eyeshadows, and I can actually read what I'm grabbing. So I'm gonna grab this. I feel like this is a good match for the color story. And then wiping off my Wayne Goss 02 brush. It's a squirrel hair brush. And then going into that Divine Rose blush color. It's a nice match. I have way too many Pat McGrath blushes, but don't feel bad about it. Where she succeeds is at her color stories. She has something for everybody. And what I find about her blushes is actually they stay longer than other blushes. I do my mascara and then we'll be done. As I was saying, with Pat McGrath, unless she comes out with an incredibly new color story with eyeshadow this year, I'm gonna wait for a sale, because there's no reason to pay full price for Pat McGrath. And I actually prefer to get her products not through her website anymore because it's such terrible customer service. I just prefer waiting and going through Sephora. Okay, so that's the final look. Actually, I do want to do one thing, is that I think with this lipstick it would help, or this lip balm. I grabbed a lip liner. I want one that's more neutral. I've been using Affair and Sorcery so much for lip liners from Eldridge. Those are like my go-to, just because for me they're like the perfect neutrals. So I grabbed a Fair liner. Actually, I'm mixing my lip liner color. So I grabbed a Fair initially, and now I grabbed a blush. Sometimes I just like to mix my lipstick colors and lip liners. It's a little bit more pink because the lip oil is so neutral. Okay, so that is the final look. What do you think? I think at the end, the foundation looks really pretty. So this is the third, actually this is the third time we're testing this. I'm curious if this combo of the Tatcha primer plus the Sisley blur powder plus the foundation is actually going to make it look or last longer. Actually, it looks better. So there's like one more combination I was going to try if this doesn't work, because it's such a dewy foundation. I was thinking about cocktailing this with a long wear foundation or a more matte foundation like Chanel to mix the to balance out the luminosity. So again, this is one of those things where I try not to throw the baby out with the bathwater. Like I try to figure out if there's ways like I can cocktail what I have to make it work. Okay, so I think that's it, beauty fam. Thanks for joining me with this Get Ready With Me trying on new to me makeup. And if you haven't done so already, then please consider subscribing and then clicking the like button below. And then as always, please be very kind to yourself and others. Just be you. And until the next video, take good care, beauty fam. Bye.